Breaking through the Russian border, the Siberian Battalion and the Russian Volunteer Corps liberated Kozinka from the Putin regime. Over the village of Kozinka, Belgorod region, there are now flags of the Siberian Battalion and the Russian Volunteer Corps. Volunteers continue to liberate Russia from Putin. Russia continues to lose territory. On March 17, the flags of the Siberian Battalion and the Russian Volunteer Corps were raised over the village of Kozinka. This was reported in the Siberian Battalion group on Telegram. Volunteers published a photo in which they captured the successful continuation of the limited special operation, raising the flags of both battalions in Kozinka. It was from this settlement that the soldiers of the Kremlin dictator tried to dislodge the Siberian Battalion and the Russian Volunteer Corps, but instead heroically destroyed the house of civilians. Putin declared his determination to continue to wage war against Ukraine until the victorious end. Yesterday, March 17, during a briefing at his campaign headquarters, the head of the Russian Federation spoke about the situation in Ukraine and plans for the future. Putin has already thanked Russians for the high turnout in the elections. According to him, this was due to the dramatic events that the Russian Federation is currently experiencing, reports the Ukraine 365 channel with reference to Russian public pages. According to Putin, the country is now defending the interests of its citizens in the world with arms in hand. The Russian dictator is already ready to allocate more and more money for the army, defense and war. From the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Russian Federation, he will demand information on every citizen of the Russian Federation who is fighting against his country. Putin compared all volunteer corps with Vlasov's army during the Second World War. He is confident that Kiev is using them for its own purposes, throwing them into meat assaults in the border area. Putin is also confident that out of 1,000 volunteers, only 500 remain in the ranks. Putin once again announced his readiness to sit down at the negotiating table with Kiev, and not even for the reason that the armed forces of Ukraine are running out of ammunition. The Russian Ministry of Defense will continue to do everything possible to create a sanitary zone that will prevent Western weapons from reaching Russian territory.